Hello, friends and supporters. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share an update on PWRDF with you today. We have an impressive 60 plus years as a ministry of the Anglican Church of Canada. In 1958, at the time of the tragic mine collapse in Spring Hill, Nova Scotia, Canadian Anglicans raised money quickly for affected families, an equivalent in today's money of $1.2 million. Today, we are supporting partners in more than 30 countries around the world. This map that you see is also on our website, and it marks longer-term development projects in blue and shorter-term humanitarian responses in purple. In 2019, there were many emergency responses, including the Australia bushfires, Cyclone Idai in East Africa, and Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas, where we worked with the Anglican Alliance to ensure a good response. Our 5-year strategic plan continues to guide and inspire us. It's built of 5 principles: a sustainable future, which means that we have the resources we need to carry out our programs, strong partnerships, so integral to PWRDF's way of working, meaningful results in caring for the climate, caring for mothers and babies, ensuring food security, and gender equality. A collaborative approach as we pursue inclusion, peace, and justice, collaborating with the Canadian Food Grains Bank, the ACT Alliance, the Anglican Alliance, and so many more. Mutual reconciliation is a key goal for us as we go forward, as we listen and respond to priorities of Indigenous communities, with an emphasis, for example, on programs to help youth with business skills and water management skills. Today marks 257 days since the pandemic was officially declared. PWRDF responded from the very beginning by first checking in with our partners to see how they were doing. We worked with partners in very difficult settings, such as in the Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya, where physical distancing, soap, and clean water were indeed seen as a luxury, and in Tanzania, where communities had just been hit by floods and a response had to be tailored to include COVID-19 supplies and protocols. In March 2020, PWRDF had completed a 4-year project working with partners in Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, and Mozambique. All Mothers and Children Count was a program designed to improve the health of moms and babies through increased access to quality health care, nutrition, and food security. This program had tremendous impact on moms and babies, and this little baby, Shining, is just one of these many children. Now, Shining was born prematurely and without vital signs, but survived and thrived because of PWRDF-supported equipment and training. Behind all of these numbers of communities and people who benefited from All Mothers and Children Count are people whose lives were changed by the AMCC program, funded for 4 years by the Government of Canada, and the Canadians who contributed over $2.5 million that in turn leveraged an additional $15 million from the Canadian government. The smallest number there, 680 community health workers, is still very impactful, given that these are women and men health workers who make home visits, prescribe medicine, educate in local language about malaria and HIV and nutritious foods, and make referrals to local health facilities. The community health workers are foundational to preventative health and a quick, effective response to health concerns. Here are some other results. The number of women giving birth and supported by a trained healthcare worker increased from 39% at project beginning to 97% at project end. I was so grateful in an earlier visit to Burundi to meet women supported by our projects who became leaders in their communities and champions for nutrition, for sending girls to school, and for safe births. In Mozambique, our AMCC program provided solar power to very rural health facilities so that there would be light at night in the delivery room, creating a much safer and welcoming place in which to bring new life into the world. Each of our partners in the 4 countries are stronger today, with good and audited financial controls and able to access other funding and increase their community impact. PWRDF was extremely gratified when we were one of 11 organizations chosen this year by Global Affairs Canada to receive the COVID Extension Fund, $1.9 million from the Government of Canada to support our All Mothers and Children Count partners and preserve the gains that were made by All Mothers and Children Count. Every dollar donated to this program continues into 2021 and will be matched sixfold by the Government of Canada. I've talked about how the pandemic has affected our partners, but it's also affected our parishes. Without being able to meet in the pews, it's been a challenge. Parish engagement, prayers, and gifts are so important to PWRDF and our partners, and there are challenges. Revenue from parish and individual donors has decreased. Revenue in September 2020 relative to September 2019 is about 25% less. The majority of donations to PWRDF come by mail from individuals and from parishes and dioceses that collect donations through offering envelopes and then mail to our office. In July 2020, 70% of our donations still came by mail. Expenses have decreased because of no travel and no in-person meetings. Fundraising expenses are slightly less, but investments in fundraising continue to be important. Without Anglicans going to church physically in the pews, we lose the main point of contact with our donors and supporters. So we at PWRDF have been working very hard to support our very dedicated volunteers. We've been holding weekly and now bi-weekly Praying with PWRDF sessions on Zoom. Participants have told us how meaningful these gatherings have been to them and how it has helped them stay connected to the work. We've organized webinars and produced videos, and PWRDF staff, including me, have virtually attended several church services as a guest speaker and even joined Zoom coffee hours. But we are providing support and resources for Anglicans to help educate them about our work and encourage them to get involved or become a donor, especially as we head into Advent and Christmas. Our ever-popular World of Gifts guide continues to be a key focus for us during Advent and Christmas and beyond. It helps us raise more than $500,000 for our partners each year. And our children's resource, Advent Lives, ties into it perfectly, providing activities and stories for children as they learn about others around the world less fortunate than them. There are great gift ideas for families and parishes to join funds and forces. Gifts of goats for a community health worker, how important that is to sustain the livelihoods of community health workers who are out there each and every day. For $50, you can give 50 tree seedlings to our partner in Uganda, working to improve soil and take climate action so that families can farm responsibly and effectively. $50 will support a family in Colombia learning about hydroponic farming. And $100 will buy an electric water pump to irrigate crops with the development agency of the Episcopal Church of Cuba. Again, we are supporting our friends in Indigenous ministries by leveraging our reach and encouraging donations to support pandemic relief programs in Indigenous communities in Canada. Please do take a look, share the link, promote. These are great opportunities to care for our neighbor, our many neighbors in need. And check it out at pwrdf.org/World of Gifts. In 2021, we begin a 3-year education campaign focusing on climate change and creation care. There are exceptional resources and prayers for our world, for caring for creation. These are on our website under pwrdf.org/resources. And alongside of our resources are programs for creation care, for climate justice. I have told you how involved PWRDF is in the churches, but PWRDF also enjoys a strong reputation outside the Anglican Church. This year we responded to the Beirut explosion and were able to disperse money quickly to partners of the ACT Alliance, an ecumenical network of 150 church-based agencies. Canadian Anglicans responded knowing that the gifts would be matched. We've supported Indigenous midwifery here in Canada and in Peru and Mexico, promoting the presence of Indigenous midwives and honoring their expertise. We've partnered with the Pansy Foundation and its founder, Dr. Denis Mukwege, winner of the Nobel Peace Prize to restore dignity in the lives of women who have been victims of sexual violence. Jesus taught us to love God and to love our neighbor, and these two commandments both guide and anchor our work. We want to be the humanitarian and development charity of choice for Canadian Anglicans, and increasingly so for others who are looking for a charity that makes a true impact. This year's annual report is brimming with stories of loving our neighbor and making an impact in the world. With your help, we are working towards a truly just, healthy, and peaceful world.